G'day guys, kia ora, good afternoon. It's Dave here from New Zealand Outdoor Blades and Bullets. Hope you're doing fantastic. I recently produced a video on knife safety and talked about the number one rule for me personally, which is always cut away from yourself so that you don't end up cutting yourself, because it's happened to me and other people that I know. Occasionally when we are maybe processing a deer and cutting towards ourselves, it might sound silly, but it does happen. If the knife slips, you've got a risk of literally stabbing yourself. It's happened to me before. I'm sure it's happened to some other people. In fact, I know it has. And this can be very, very dangerous, particularly when you stab a part of your body which has got a significant vein or artery there. You can end up with arterial bleeding and potentially end up in hospital, or worse, die. Or you can end up with nerve damage. Another classic way to hurt yourself or your friend when using a knife is, I've found, when you're out hunting and you've downed your deer and you're processing it and you want to help out your friend and you're helping them cut up the animal. Well, as a general rule, I don't personally like more than one person working on an animal at any one time. So if I'm cutting up the deer and mate's there, I'll just politely ask him to stay a couple of meters away. And if someone else is cutting up the deer, unless they want me to help maneuver the deer or just grab a leg and hold it out to one side, I'll generally, as a rule, stay a couple of meters away from them, because when a person is cutting and they're effectively cutting towards someone else, you're just increasing the risk of injury. Another factor which Daniel from the United States mentioned to me, and it is actually a really good point, is knife control. Is when working on an animal, Daniel was saying that he has a relatively small knife and he holds it like this, and with his index finger he'll work on the animal like that with small downward strokes, and this just gives them greater level of control, because if you can control your knife, you've got less chance of hurting yourself or hurting someone else. But there we have it. This is another significant rule for me, is when you're cutting up a deer or any other type of animal, should only be one person working on that animal, not two. If you got this far, I'd love to hear from you if you've got any experience or points on this matter. Have a fantastic day. Cheers.